Hello, I'm a 34-year-old woman, I have a 9-year-old child, and I have been divorced for 4 years. I look after my child alone. On Saturdays and Sundays, he also goes to his father. So far, so good. However, 4 years have passed since our divorce, and I still don't dare to go out with another person to try to create another communication or any relationship with anyone at all. I don't love my ex, I have no feelings for him. Even after the divorce, he wanted to fix our relationship, but I don't want to. But besides him, I don't seem to dare to give another person a chance. There are men who have wanted to go out, to write to each other, but something keeps stopping me, as if I tell myself that he is not for me either. On the one hand, I tell myself that there's no way Prince Charming will come. On the other hand, I know that there's no need to rush and the right one will appear sooner or later. But on the other hand, I don't know how he can appear when I don't give anyone a chance, and I don't know myself.
I just want to know where I'm going wrong, what to fix in myself so that I can dare to let another person in. And sometimes I get really annoyed when someone says to me, "Come on, there's still no man for you." Well, there isn't, but they just don't understand me, that I'm afraid to trust again, because my child's father and I were together for 11 years and everything was wonderful for the first 4 years. I didn't even raise my voice. And then he started to change a little less until he showed his true nature. And right now, just thinking that I could live with another man, and if I have to experience or relive this again and experience all the horror, that's what stops me.
I want to have someone by my side, to be a support for each other, to help and share. But the moment I remember from our story with my ex what happened in the end, I just pull back and can't move forward on the topic of relationships. The other thing that worries me is how I will allow myself to go out with another man. And this is where the thoughts start. What if someone sees me and he finds out? Or if things happen between us, will my child accept him and all that kind of stuff? As if I have no right to do it. That's how I feel. That if I do it, I will make a mistake. As if I have no right to do that. Thank you to the people who read my long post. I will be happy with your advice. Have a nice and peaceful evening.
First, I just want to say thank you for sharing something so personal. That took a lot of courage. And what you've described, that feeling of being stuck, it's incredibly powerful, and honestly, so many people can relate to it. It's like you want to move forward, but there's this invisible wall stopping you, right? Well, let's unpack that. Let's really get into the psychology of what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, the very first thing we need to get straight is this, and it's absolutely crucial. There is nothing broken or wrong with you for feeling this way. Let me say that again. There's nothing wrong with you. What you're experiencing is actually a completely logical, even intelligent response to going through something so painful. This isn't a failure on your part, not at all. It's a sign that your mind and your body learned a really, really tough lesson.
So where does that stuck feeling actually come from? Well, here's the thing. It's not because you don't want a relationship. It's because your brain has activated this incredibly powerful built-in protective shield. Think of it like that. It's a really smart form of self-preservation.
In psychology, we call this a protective mechanism. And here's how it works. Your brain is a powerful learning machine, and it's created a really strong association. It's basically learned a formula. A new relationship starts out great. Then comes this slow, confusing change, and it all ends in pain. So now, whenever a new person comes along, what happens? Ding, 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 the alarm bells go off. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your life or sabotage your happiness, it's just trying to protect you from a danger it recognizes. It's a feature of your survival system, not a bug.
And, this is what creates that huge inner conflict, that tug of war inside you. On one hand, you have your heart, right? It wants connection, support, a real partner. But on the other hand, you have your brain's alarm system just screaming at you, warning you about that pattern it remembers so well, that slow change that led to horror. And being caught in the middle of that battle, it is absolutely exhausting. It's no wonder you feel stuck.
What makes this kind of hurt so uniquely damaging is how it happened. It wasn't a relationship that was obviously bad from day one. No, it was the trauma of a slow reveal. And that kind of experience, it does something really specific. When you lose trust in someone in that slow, creeping way, you almost always end up losing trust in yourself too.
And this is so important to understand. The deepest wound here isn't the breakup. It's not even about the other person anymore. The real damage is to the trust you have in your own judgment. You start to question everything. Can I see people for who they really are? Did I miss all the signs? It's that self-doubt that's so painful.
And that's when the whole internal story changes, The fear isn't just about what's out there in the world anymore. The question that keeps you frozen, it's not, will this new person change on me? No. It becomes, will I see it this time? Can I trust myself to get out before it gets bad again? That's a much scarier question.
Okay, let's talk about another huge piece of this puzzle. That feeling you mentioned of having no right to move on. Wow, that is such a heavy, heavy weight to carry. And it's something so many single parents feel. This idea that your needs have to come last always. So let's really pull that feeling apart and see where it's coming from. Because that feeling of having no right, it isn't just one thing. It's actually a whole bunch of different fears and pressures all rolled into one. It's that fear of what other people will think, right? What if someone sees me? It's the worry about your child, of course. Will they be okay with someone new? And then there's that voice in your head, the one that says, my only job now is to be a parent. All of those things get tangled up together until it feels like wanting something for yourself is just a big mistake.
But here's where we need to reframe this, and this is so, so important. A happy parent is not a betrayal of their child. It is the absolute opposite. A parent who is fulfilled, who is happy, who is emotionally healthy, that's the best possible role model for a healthy life. You're not just doing it for you. You're showing your child that it's okay to have your own needs, to seek out your own joy.
So, with all of this on the table, the big question is, how do you even start to move forward? Well, the answer isn't to just jump back into dating. That's not the goal right now. The real goal is to start rebuilding trust in the one person who's been with you through it all, you. It's all about taking small, really manageable steps to get back that feeling of control and safety. So here's a game plan. Step 1, change the goal. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is not to find a partner. It's just to prove to your brain's alarm system that you're in charge now. That's it. Step 2, take tiny, tiny steps. I'm talking super low stakes, like a coffee. And the only goal of that coffee is to have a conversation. You're not auditioning a life partner. And step 3, and this one is everything, give yourself permission. Permission to just meet people, to talk, to be curious, without promising anyone or yourself a single thing. See how that takes all the pressure off? It puts you right back in control. Okay, as we wrap this up, I want to get to the real heart of the matter, because there's a subtle little shift in thinking here, but it's one that can honestly change everything.
Let's ask this one final, really honest question. Is the real fear that a new person will change? Or is the real fear that you will ignore your gut feeling again? That you'll see the red flags, feel that little warning inside, and talk yourself out of it? Because so often, what we're really afraid of isn't being betrayed by someone else. It's betraying ourselves.
And that brings us to the final thought. You don't fear love. You're not afraid of connection or partnership. What you fear is a repeat of that specific pain. And seeing that difference, well, it's profound. It shifts the entire focus. It's no longer about being afraid of what other people might do. It becomes a mission to rebuild trust in your own voice, your own wisdom. And that is a journey you absolutely 100% have the right to take.